Right, one of my favorite bunker drills. I kind of go through phases of using this with players because, and this comes as a warning, it's kind of tricky. Not everyone gets it quickly. But what I will say is that even if you don't get the drill right, it probably will lend itself to better bunker shots. Now, if you don't like or subscribe already, please do so. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the drill. And I can continue rolling out this kind of content. It's going to be quite a short one today. Let's get stuck into it. There is a sound to good bunker shots. There is a slap of the sand. You can hear that club bouncing off it, coming back out the sand quickly. Now, if you're particularly steep or you go into the sand in a deep way, you're not going to get that sound. No grind, no amount of bounce is going to get the club back up and out of the sand for you. And the simplest way I've found over the years to get people to produce a divot that is shallower, comes back up out of the sand quicker, is to do a very particular, very, very tricky drill. And the drill really is to create a lower swing plane. All right, so you see it from this camera here, swinging on a lower angle. Because all things being equal, if I swing on a lower angle, I should have the bottom of the swing shallower or a higher low point, and the club should come back around and up out of the sand faster versus the same swing on a steeper angle. Steeper angle is good for a steep approach. Shallower angle is good for a shallower approach. Okay, and it'll expose a ton of bounce. It will skip back up. You have to work the club around the corner at the bottom effectively to get all this stuff to work. So let's hit one a second. So I'll just show you what I mean by kind of a low angle. You'll see it from this camera. I'm going to try and work the club on the same plane I set up on. Got the face fairly open. So obviously, in contrast to my kind of simple, basic bunker video, almost like the cheat code, this is a little bit more advanced. Okay, so it's not a case of, hey, you shouldn't play it like this anymore. This is just a variation for different players, maybe a little bit more advanced, hit the ball higher, good for very, very deep sand, heavy sand, etc., etc. You kind of get the point. There's more than one way to do it. So low angle, face open. I'm not going to try and be steep though. I'm going to swing on the same angle I set the shafts. It's quite a low swing plane, and I'm going to move the club back up on the other side. We should get reasonable depth control. Okay, pretty good, stopped pretty fast. Now, I'll tell you a story. When I started playing the game, I basically had a load of hand-me-down clubs, right? So they were given to me by my parents. I think I used to putt with a 1-iron, and a really old-bladed 1-iron was my first putter. And the most lofted club in my bag was a 7-iron. Now, playing a bunker shot with a 7-iron requires you to do certain things quite well. And that's the drill. I've got a 7-iron here. I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to play a bunker shot with the 7 where I won't aim to the left because that's cheating. I will aim very much straight, even closing my feet. I'm going to get very, very low. Now, quick liability issue here. If you try this and injure yourself, don't come looking for me. I'm old, right? And I can do this. So I'm going to set the club on a very, very low angle. And my goal here is to try and move the club on that same angle or close to it. The club face is vertical, pointing vertically, I should say, and try and work the club under the ball. YouTube police, that's penalty shot. Let's see what we can get first try. Pull the trousers down. That was pretty good. Started on line. Didn't have to aim left for it. Hopefully you saw from this camera, I worked the club on quite a low angle, returned it low, had to line the shaft up this way in order to hit it. If you come in with a ton of lean this way, you're not going to hit it properly. So it does need to be released. Now as a visual, something I use with players sometimes, I'll say, right, get yourself down there. Now if you can't get that low, switch club, do it with a 9-iron, you don't need to get as low. The less loft we have on the face, the lower you need to get it to go up. So, down into position, and have you flip the club head around this way and say, right, it's a hammer. Now imagine there's a nail in the sand sticking out on this angle. The goal here is to take this hammer and strike the nail into the sand behind the golf ball. It's not a big swing. You'll see that I didn't take a massive swing. There wasn't a big range of motion. It was kind of small, kind of wristy, lined it up, popped it in the air. So flip it the other way, down in position, starting to get cramp. Low angle, hammer that nail, keep the face open. That was a little heavy, still came out pretty good. Okay, so 7-iron, it's the ultimate drill. Now, I did say at the beginning that if you don't get it, doesn't really matter, because what you're training yourself to do is lower yourself down, swing on a low angle. I'm out of breath, that was so hard. Then you switch back to a wedge, and we throw in some of the same ingredients. You don't need as much, obviously. Let's get a lie. I've already messed the bunker up. Wow, that's wet. Right, okay, so I'm gonna go pretty low, a bit lower than I was at the beginning maybe. On the angle, work the club around. See, comes out absolutely fine, no problem at all. Now, you don't need to do this next bit, but it's good fun. So just want to explore and use a 3-iron. Not a lot of loft here, but don't forget, we're setting up so differently that the loft's just a number, right? The only requirement here, now I've got less loft, is to get lower so the face can point up. If I'm up here somewhere, it's pointing over to the right, okay, pointing that way. And what we need is the club face to be pointing upwards. All right, so I'm gonna have to get very, very low. Right foot's withdrawn, knees almost touching the ground, it feels like knuckles on the ground on the low angle. And try and pop it up. All right, so extra high tariff. It was high, popped it to the right a little bit. I think I can do better than that. Can I get low enough to get the face up enough to not hit it to the right? That's the question. And strike it. All the above. Okay, that was pretty good. It's about as good as you're going to get with the 3-iron for me today. But again, we'll take the principle. Grab a wedge. Get that in the sand. Same principle, right? Low handle, face pretty open. On the angle of the shaft, work the club around. And when I say work the club around, it's really from the front. Work it around my hands and back at the other side. Okay, short, high, soft bunker shots. I guess it's the ultimate bunker drill. It's also ultimately difficult, so good luck. Let me know how it goes.